Hello and welcome again. In this video, we are going to um, begin to design infograph. Having gone through the tools and gone through a few tips here and there, so we're going to start designing. Today, we are going to look at Nigeria as at 2013. So I'm bringing data from the NDHS 2013. So we just sieve out a few information and design an infograph out of it. So we're looking at Nigeria, we're looking at four key things: the fertility rate, the CPR, the under 5 mortality rate, and knowledge of contraception. That's what we're looking at. So to do that, the first thing I usually like to do is to come to this setting here um, and change the canvas size. The reason is that I usually like to design on a bigger size such that whatever it is I want to use the design for, maybe I'm printing it or something, it can, um, if you want to use it on a big platform, it can fit, and of course it can also fit in a smaller platform. But if you design on a small platform and you want to use in a big platform, the image quality may reduce or it may pixelize, so pixelate. Okay, so that's why I usually do this. Now this is A4 already, so I just come to custom. This is 800 and this is the dimension basically. So I could just double it. So from 800 I could make it 1600. Automatically the second one too should have doubled, as you can see. So that's so this is a bigger canvas size, and then now because it's big, it might be difficult to manipulate or to work with, so I usually have to reduce the or zoom out so that you can see the entire canvas that you are working with right here. Okay, so the next thing to do is to design a layout. Just have an idea in your mind what your layout is going to be. In this case, since we are presenting four basic information, I'm looking at dividing this canvas into four sides. So let's have a line. And by the way, this is at this point in time, this is just still guesswork or draft work, or so to say. So along the line, we would fine-tune the whole thing. So but this is just an idea of what the layout will likely be. So I'm looking at um, putting this line here and then having another line. um, Remember, as I'm expanding, I'm pressing the shift button down so that I don't alter the angle of the line. It remains at angle 180 degrees, so I have to press the shift button. In this case I need a vertical line, so I'm not sure, I can't see any button here with which I can rotate it. So what I'll just do is to use this right here and turn it around to 90 degrees. I'm not sure this is 90 degrees, so what I'll do to achieve a 90, let me undo it. To achieve a 90, again, if you press shift down and you turn it around, it will move at definite angles. I think maybe 30, 60, 45 or something, and then this is 90, exactly 90. So again, make it a solid line and then have this at the center here. So I might need another line of this. So like I said, the regular shortcuts like Ctrl C for copy, Ctrl V for paste will work here. That's what I just did, and then bring this down here. So this way I've divided the canvas into, I've pulled out 4 boxes, although they are not exactly equal boxes. I pulled out 4 boxes right here, so we can put the information here, and then I'm looking at another line up here. So this way we can have the title here and a little bit of introduction. Then we can have information about Nigeria here, and then the 4 parameters down here. So this is a rough layout. As time goes on, we can change it as we want. So then the next thing to do is to decide what you want the background color to be. Because it's Nigeria, I'm looking at color green, of course. um, Maybe not that much of green, or rather I think we'll go with this. This is deep. And then with that we might want to change the color of these lines. By the way, to select multiple items at the same time, you press, after you select the first one, you can press Ctrl button and select the other ones. So now I've selected all the lines together, and so whatever I do affects all of the lines. I want to change the color to white. Okay, so now that we are certain that this is the layout we want to use, one good thing to quickly do is to be sure that these boxes are of the same dimension, so to say. Piktochart does not have a ruler here like PowerPoint, Microsoft Word like they do. So what I usually do is to use a box. So I'll insert a box, okay, and then just use that box to, let me delete this one. Oh, inserted two men. Okay, so just use that box to measure the dimensions. So right here, so this is the size. If you bring this up here, this tells you already that um, they are about the same size, the same height. If you bring this up here, this tells you that um, you will need to move this line up to achieve the same height. And here we go. So with this box, we are almost certain that, at least fairly, that these 3 rows here are about the same height. So in terms of width for these two, let's do it again here. So if you bring this box here, um, already the column on the right is bigger than that on the left. So let me try and centralize this one. Okay, so now I believe it's at the center. So great. So this and this are of the same width now, basically. Okay, so now we can start imputing the content. So the first thing is the title. So let's come to the text. I observe that the title, the subtitle, and the subtitle 2 all have the same font, and that font is this Montserrat, right? And oops, I think I altered it. And then subtitle 3 and body text have font, and that font is Lato. And in my opinion, I think those two fonts are pretty good to use. So I'll use the first one for the main title. Let's say Nigeria 2013. And then the second one, let's say situation report. Okay, so we have to increase the font size. Let's bring this to, let's say 110, and let's see what that gives us. Or better still, we can do 150. And then situation report, we can do, let's say 100 and see. You might need to zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out to help you see what you are dealing with. So situation, there you go. and then you can select the two of them and align right here, so they are going to be the center. Great. And then of course I think white is going to be pretty good color for the two of them. Okay, um, just one little detail. This appears to be too big, so bring it down to, let's say, 90. Okay, so that's it. Now we have the title, so the next thing is to input information. The first thing we have here is the population, but then we might want to use this tool to show that Nigeria we are talking about. So, or by regions, let's say Africa, and then you can select Nigeria and give it a color. Since we are using green, I think we can use white, and then for Nigeria we can now use green. It's going to stand out that way, hopefully. So let's insert this map and see. Remember, always press shift down when you are expanding. Okay, see, this tells you where Nigeria is, but African map right here seems to be facing the left side, so I would rather put it on the right side so that it's facing whatever information I want to put here on the left side. So the next thing is population, and according to NDHS 2013 that we are using, Nigeria as at that time, as at 2013, had a population of about um, 171.8 million people. So let's say 120. Oops. Let's say 50. Okay. Let's say 100. All right. So now here is the trick. In this case, if you are talking about population and you are using a figure, I believe that the figure should be very prominent and should be easily readable from afar. So I'll copy out the picture or cut it out from this box so that you can have a box of its own. I'm not sure what this is. This is a line, right? Okay, undo. Let me undo. I'm cutting out this. It's still giving a line. Okay, so I would rather just insert another text. Make it big, and then I can cut out the figure and paste it here in this other text. Okay, so separating the number and the text this way allows you to change the font and change the properties of each of them separately. Okay, so usually for numbers, the font, I mean, there are different font options that you could use, but there's a particular font that I have found very useful for numbers because it's quite narrow. Where is it? Yeah, this one, archival narrow. It's it's it allows you can use a big size and yet it will not take up too much space because it's quite narrow. So this looks too big. Let's do 250 or 200. So, and then the million can come under like this. Just a little more detail. This million is not as wide as the number, so you might want to increase it a little bit. So if you come to letter spacing, let's give it 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, 6. At 6 looks like it's not there yet. All those little details make a difference in designing. So this looks like it. This looks like it. So again, the color, let's use white. But then I like to use, so that we don't just use white also, I like to use another color for the number, and I think the light green will fit well on the deep or dark green background, and it will come out good enough. Just a little more details. Let's edit this and change this color to a light green as well. Hopefully to be better. Yeah, I think it looks better this way. Alright, so let's group these two together. I'm selecting the two of them by selecting to select the two of them, like I mentioned earlier, you select one, press shift down, and then select the other one. If you right click, you would see all the options. Hold on, let me move it down and see if, or let me move it up rather, so that the options can pop out down. Alright, so you see the group option. Let me undo. I'm not sure what just happened. Okay, whatever that is, let me ungroup it first of all and readjust it, and now I can group it. Okay, so because they are grouped together, they can move together. So I'll move it here to close enough to the center or down, so that I can insert the text of what this is. So I'm inserting a text to say population. Again, let's make this big, and let's use a white color. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have. Population. This looks too big. Let's do 80. Alright, so I can move it to the top here. It will appear like the title of this session. So population is 171.8 million. Then we can move down to the next one. Next one talks about the fertility rate. So in order, rather than keep inserting text and having to change the properties, since apparently I'm adopting this as the section title, so I can copy it and paste it, and then drag it down here, then change it to the new section title, fertility rate. With that, I'm sure that I'm using the same font for each of the titles, the same font and the same font size basically. So fertility rate as at 2013 for Nigeria was 5.5 births per woman. So how do we represent that? Each woman on average gave birth to 5.5 children. So let's come to graphics and see what we can use. So there are many ways to represent this, but I think a good way would be to use the children themselves. So let's get an icon for children. This is a good one for a baby. Again, press shift down before you increase it, and then bring it right here. So this is rather too big. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let's use 60. Alright, so this is rather too big, so I can reduce it to, let's say, this size. And then so we are trying to say that 5.5 birds per woman, right? So let's try and multiply this into 5. So I'll copy and then paste, paste. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I select all of them and I come up here to align it, nope, this one align. No, I need them to not be together, to be on separate lines. Okay, there they are, the 6 of them. So again, I press shift control down and I select all of them, and I come here to align them. So now I'm sure that um, they are all on the same level, basically horizontal level. And then just to move them closer to each other to be sure that they have about the same space. Okay, there's probably a shortcut for this that I'm not aware of, but for now this is how I do it. Okay, so now these are the babies. So there are 5.5, or we are looking for 5.5, and here um, we have 6, so we have to make this 5.5. The question is, how do we cut this baby into half? In other softwares there is a crop option, but right now in Piktochart I can't see the crop option anywhere. So, but there's always a way to go about things. So I would rather just cover it. So I'll use a no shapes. I'll use a box to cover it. So um, by the way, let's change the color. Let's use the color we are using for numbers, that light green. Here it is. So I'll use this to cover this, cover one half of it. And then for this black box not to show, I will change the color to the color of the background. And here we go. So it fades into the background and nobody will notice that there's a box there. So I'm going to select the box and all the babies together, right click and group them. So now that they are low, I can move them around. I'm not sure what happened to this baby right here, so let me ungroup and see what happened. Oh boy, just put it back in, and to be sure that they are all on the same level, let me align all over again. Okay, so they're aligned. Where's my box? Okay, it's covered. And then I can actually draw a line like this to select all of them instead of selecting them one after the other. Just a minute. Okay, select all of them like this and right click, right click to group. Okay, again another baby has disappeared. I'm not sure why this is happening. I'm not sure why it's happening after being grouped. Let me try one last time. Okay, it's disappeared again. Alright, so I will just ungroup and leave them as ungroup, but I'll make sure that when I'm moving around I have all of them selected together, and then I can move them around like this. So fertility rate, here we go, we have 5.5 represented, and then we can insert the text. So let's zoom out a little bit and let's say text. I'll have to increase this to like 60 so we can see what we are dealing with. So say births per woman. Again, let's go back in. Change the color to white. Maybe let this entire text be on one line. Okay, so a good thing to do, I think, would be to increase the size of these babies. Apparently they look too small right now, so I'm not sure if this will work to be able to select and increase their sizes together. Okay, it works. It works perfectly well. Okay, so here 1 2 3 4 5 6, and of course we bring this box here. Now the box has to be bigger. We bring it here to cover for the half baby. So here we have it. Let's move all of this down to accommodate for the figure. So I can put the figure and say 5.5 births per woman. So let me let's just insert another text. 5.5. Remember the text where the font size we are using, the font type that we are using for numbers is this archival narrow. So we come here and select that archival narrow. And then the size here is 200. It doesn't have to be the same size though, but let's try it and see. And then green, light green. Okay, this doesn't look so bad, but it looks rather clumsy. Maybe this should be white. This looks better. Okay, so let's leave this at this for now. We'll come back to it later when we are done with the other ones, and if we think it doesn't fit into everything, we can come back to it. Alright, so I would like to pause this video right here because I don't want each video to be too long. We'll continue in the next video. See you in the next video.